is and how we can use in local environment. Okay, so let me share my screen quickly. So guys, are you able to see my screen? Please confirm once.
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. This is the first slide of the introduction that what is we are covering in this session, and basically we will cover that what is cloud connector, how we can implement it in our local environment, and what is the use cases of the cloud connector, and is there any alternative for this as well or not. Okay, so cloud connector is basically application which allow you to connect your ODC apps with your local organization networks. Okay, so assume that you have application which is running in your private local network, developed in any technology, no matter it is in C sharp or PHP or Python, but the constraint is that you cannot access it via internet. Okay, it is available in your local network only. So how you can access those APIs or databases with your ODC application. So cloud connector is the bridge between the private network and the ODC portal. So basically, create a tunnel between the private network and the ODC application where you can securely communicate with your local APIs. This is the basic diagram. So as you can see that this is the your ODC cloud platform where you have couple of applications, and this is your on-premise or maybe AWS cloud application where you want to access it. Okay, so the cloud connector provide a tunnel which bypass the firewall and access your local APIs. For that, we need to enable the private gateway uh, in your portal, ODC portal, and it provide you a address and a token, which help you to connect with the ODC private gateway. It depends on the ODC subscription. It is an add-on, and you have to connect with the OutSystem teams to enable it in your portal. So in this demonstration, we are using a Minikube, which is a application to provide a Kubernetes cluster in your local environment, and then we will deploy a couple of application which include a Flask API. Flask is a Python framework, and Cloud Connector deployment, and we will configure it in ODC app. Okay, what is Kubernetes? So Kubernetes is a containerized platform which provide you to create an application in your local environment or any cloud environment. It provide a nice containerized way to access your application without any hassle that we face in any deployment, right? Kubernetes basically use Docker. Docker is a base of the Kubernetes to implement the containers. Okay. Minikube is a tool where we configure the Kubernetes by easy interface and couple of commands. And main feature of the Minikube is that it can be run in your laptop as well or any server. Okay, there are a couple of ways, but I found that Minikube is the popular and most easy solution available in the market. And also it is a open source, so yeah, it is free to use. The first step is that we have to install a Docker. So for Windows, we have a Docker desktop application. So I already installed it. Okay, this is the interface of the Docker desktop application. It provides nice interface to check what images are installed in your cluster. Okay, and it also provide to install Kubernetes. You can use this as well or Minikube. These are the two basic ways to run a Kubernetes in your local system. So I choose to use Minikube rather than the inbuilt Kubernetes provided by the Docker desktop. Okay. Now again jump to the slide. So second step, we will start a Minikube. Okay. So I'll share you my command prompt. So when you install a Minikube, it is a simple application. It is a one-click installer. You install and start a Minikube in your system. It will take a couple of seconds, like 20 to 30 seconds to start it. Once it start, you can access all the Kubernetes command in your local system. Just wait for a couple of seconds. Meanwhile, you can see that when you install a Minikube, it will available in your Docker desktop as well. Okay, it means that everything is configured properly and the Minikube container is running successfully. Okay. So guys, our Minikube is started. So let's run another command which provide a nice interface for Minikube. Will start a web application which will give a overview that what is running in your container. Okay. To deploy a couple of application in the Kubernetes, we need a YML file. So let me explain one by one. So this is a Flask API which I want to deploy in my Kubernetes cluster. Okay, and it is available in the Docker Hub. You can pull that image and run it in your Docker container or Kubernetes cluster. Above that, we also implement a yeah, this is the interface of the Minikube. Okay, the service is started. As you can see that it is a nice interface. You can see what ports are running in your cluster, what services are implemented. Okay, so this is the default service for Kubernetes. As soon as you start a Minikube, the Kubernetes service is started in your local environment. So previously I am talking about the services we want to deploy in our Kubernetes cluster, which is a load balancer. Okay, so on top of this deployment, I want to run a load balancer, which we can access outside the our local network. Okay, and it also helps to create a more replica right now there is only one deployment and one replica for the container, but you can increase it. So the load balancer automatically detects the traffic to the load balancer and directed it to the proper pod. Okay. Other than that, as I already showed you that you can see that there are lots of available in the Minikube dashboard. So we mainly focus on the pods and services and deployments. Okay, deployments tell you that what application you deployed. Okay, and what pods are running your application. So let's deploy our first application. For deployment of the first application, I am running a Kubernetes command. So it will deploy a container to the Kubernetes cluster, and you can check it by running a command kubectl get po. So as you can see that my pod is deployed, okay, and it is running successfully. You can check the service by command kubectl get services. So I already told you that I deploy a pod and a service for load balancer. So both are the deployed as soon as I run this command. Okay. This is my first microservice, and again I am running another service which deploy the another load balancer and another microservice in the Kubernetes cluster. Now when you run again these commands, you can see both our application are deployed into the Kubernetes clusters, and everything is running absolutely fine. The same thing you can check in the Minikube dashboard. As you can see that we have two pods and two services, right? So using a Minikube, you can uh, get the access of a very good interface where you can easily check everything. Sorry, you can check the logs of the particular container, right? As you can see that my application is running with the localhost 5000 port. Okay, so these are everything is configured in the YML file. Which port I want to access in my local container and expose to the world. So this is my local port which I am using to running my application APIs, and this is the port where the outward system can access it. Okay. Now the final thing is in this setup is we need to deploy our cloud connector. Before that, let me show you the configuration. So this is the cloud connector deployment in the Kubernetes cluster. So this is the image. You can check it on the GitHub as well. And the main command is that this is the main command to configure our cloud connector with our local network. So this is the token I shared you that in the slide. It is just a second. Yeah, this is the token we need to configure for the cloud connector. Okay. And this is my application, ODC application domain, and this is my local network, and this is the port provided by the OutSystem private gateways. Okay, so this is the standard file. We have to use this. So uh, how many APIs you are running in your local system, you need to configure one by one. Like one API is running on 31000 port, another is 32000 port. Okay, both are configured here, so I can access both APIs from my ODC app. So let's deploy it. Again, this is the similar command we used previously, kubectl apply -f and the YML file. So as soon as you deploy it, it will deploy it in the cloud environment and local Kubernetes cluster. Okay. Uh, the another thing you can check with the cloud connector is that how it is running. Okay, let me share one more command. So as you can see that our cloud connector pod is here and it is running. I want to check that it is running properly and connected to the ODC portal or not. So for that I have a command. So cube CTL logs and the pod name. You can check that the log is available and it says that it is connected. Okay, first time it failed, but it tried again and it is get connected with the local system. So our local environment setup is done. Now we have to configure it in our ODC application. Okay, for that I created a simple application, basically a button which call is service one, API one, and other one is for API two. Okay, and this will call a REST API. Okay, I configured it in my integration for the REST APIs. Okay, remember this point that to access we have to define a port, and this is the fixed domain we have to use. Okay, so no one knows, no one do not know that where is our configuration or our actual API is running. So it will secure in this manner that no one knows that where the API is running. Okay. So as you can see that this is the simple application which provide a, output as a JSON. Okay. And this is another API which provide a normal text response. So both are returning the different kind of response. One is returning a JSON, one is returning a simple text response. Okay. Let me open the application. Meanwhile, let me share one more thing that how you can check that the API is running or not. We have a command. Minikube provide us a nice command to access our local container APIs. So we need to type a minikube service and service name. Okay. To get a service name, you can simply type the kubectl get service. So these are the service names. Okay. As soon as you launch this command, it will run a local server, and you can see that my APIs is running a JSON output in the browser. Okay, and the same response I used in my response in the ODC app. Okay. Meanwhile, I think our app is running. Okay. So as soon I click on the button one, the response is coming from my local system. Okay. No domain needed, no server needed. My laptop is working as a server. Okay. So the use case might be either you are doing some development and you have a dummy API you want to run, and it is not available in the production or the internet. You can simply create a Docker container and write a dummy JSON in it, and you can expose this APIs via Minikube and the Kubernetes cluster. And you can use ODC Cloud Connector to test your APIs and create an application without waiting for the API team to provide you the production build for that, or a dev application on the internet, because you know that whenever we do the deployment on the server, it took time, and you cannot access it easily because due to the security reasons. So meanwhile, you can create all those things in your local system, and you can test everything. So this is the simple demo for the our ODC connector. Okay. Now, what are the other tools available? So there are two tools I found very useful: ng Rock and Cloudflare. Some people call this ngrok. I call it ng Grok. Okay. So both are similar kind of technology which enable or create a tunnel between your local system and the internet. Okay. So let me share quickly with you that how can you use those tools as well. Okay. So for that, I created a Node API. Okay. Sorry. So I started a API, and this is my another API. Both are developed in the Node. One is running on the port number 3000, and another is running on the 4000. You can simply download the ngrok or the Cloudflare from the internet. It is a very small applications. It provide exes, so you can simply download into your system like this. These are the two files you can download from the internet. Okay. Now you can run these application after starting your web services. First, I am running ng rock. Okay. So you can see that this is generated a random domain for us, and it pointed to the our local machine. Okay. So this is my local API. Okay. Let me run it to the So this is my first API, okay, which is running on my local host. Now I can also access it with this domain. As you can see that the random domain pointed to my local system and returning a similar response. Even you can guys try this. Let me share it on the chat. I shared link with you in the chat. You can access it in your system, and you can see that the response is coming from my laptop. Okay, so my laptop working as a server for all you guys. Okay, and you can see the output as well that who one is try to access my API. I will get the logs that how many people are accessing my APIs. Okay. As I told you that there is another tool which is Cloudflare. Okay, you can use this as well. So for that we have a command Cloudflare tunnel URL and our local API URL. Okay, it took time because it is provided by AWS and it deployed on the AWS cloud. Okay, you can see that the response here. We get the API. So as you can see that this is also returning me the output. This is Cloudflare one and this is the ngrok one. Okay, both are API. Both are the separate APIs. Both are running on the separate ports, separate code, separate response. But the main benefit is that you can access it from anywhere in the world. Only catch is that as soon as I close these commands, the domain will be destroyed. And if I restarted it again, I get a new domain here. Okay. So every time, if you are not using the cloud connector and using ngrok or the Cloudflare, you need to publish your application after changing the domain. And yeah, this is only the catch for using these other tools. So yeah, I shared all the details with you guys. Any question, any confusion, or any query for the matter of the ODC connector or the other tools?
Okay, thank you so much, Navneet, for this demo. Like it was really helpful. So, guys, please put your questions in the Q&A section or in the chat section. Any confusion if you have in the demo, or any questions if you have. Okay, so let's see in the Q&A. Okay, so Sachin is asking, Navneet, in which use case we usually use this?
Okay, so I previously told you that if you have a organization where a old system or they want to develop a API which cannot be accessed outside the organization network. Okay, so you create an application in your local network and secure it with the firewall, so no one can access it through the internet. Okay, but they also want that you can create an application out ODC application and uh, show the data from this API. Okay, so the use case is that we don't want to set up the server in the cloud or the internet. We want to secure it in our local network, but also want to give us particular access to the application. Okay, and another use case is that assume that someone told you that you have to create an application in the ODC, and the data will be coming from the local database or maybe a API. Okay, and or in fact they told you that we will working on the APIs or the database, but it will took a time to deploy on the internet. Okay, so meanwhile what you can do that you can simply do a simple setup in your local environment and build your ODC application around it and test it fully before or waiting for the other team to complete it or deploy it into the servers. So these are the two use cases for that.
Awesome. Thank you, Sachin, for the question. Yes, others, guys, any questions do you have for Navneet?
Hello. Hi, Navneet. Am I audible to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, Navneet, my question is not directly with the cloud connector, but
Mm-hmm.
with the ODC.
Mm-hmm.
So, means, can you tell me a high level of overview? Means, how can I create a custom extensions in the ODC shared environment? Means, if I want to create a .NET extension in the shared environment,
Mm-hmm.
so can I have the access as I have the only the a developer role in the shared environment? So am I able to create an extension in the shared environment or not? If yes, then a high level of overview.
You can see the documentation for that. Yes, you can do that. You can publish your extension. Okay, and you in your shared environment and test it in, but you have to follow the document for that. They provide a GitHub to download the template. You can follow that. You can download the template from the GitHub of the ODC extension, and there are a couple of nice examples. You can start with those examples.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Navneet. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wajahat. Yes. Okay, so do we have any other questions? Guys, this I know, yeah. Right now you won't use it, right? So in future, if you want to use it, right, and you want to refer to this recording again, it will be available by next week in our YouTube channel. I'll share the link on the LinkedIn as well, so you can go through anytime you need. Yeah. If you have any questions for Navneet, we can ask. Otherwise, we can close this call.
I also want to add one thing. The other tool I shared with you, like NGRock and the Cloudflare, you can use those tools with O11 as well, not with only with ODC. You can simply create your API in your local environment and create a tunnel with using either NGRock or the Cloudflare tool, and you can access it as I shared the link with you in the chat. You can all access my system, right? So the same link you can implement your O11 application, and yes, you can consume those APIs in your O11 application. So if the again use case is that if you are waiting for a API to complete with other team, you can just simply create a sample application in your local environment with any technology like if you know the .NET Core, you can create API in .NET Core. If you know the Node.js or Python, you can create simple REST API in your local environment, expose those API using these tools, and consume those APIs in your O11 application. So it will help you to complete your project faster without waiting to any other team to provide you the complete solution. Yeah, for generally those setup will be done by the DevOps team. So if you don't have those expertise, you can ask someone to help you in your team, or if you have a DevOps team, you can tell them, and you can learn easily because there are very simple commands. There are only 4 or 5 commands you have to use to implement Docker and Kubernetes with ODC connector. So it is not that hard. Okay, so you do not need a full expertise in Docker and Kubernetes. Right now, they are providing very easy setup. You can just simply download the exes or the command for the Linux system. You can simply set up the Docker and Kubernetes, and you can simply create a YML file and deploy the applications in the Kubernetes cluster. It is not that hard. I know it is new for lots of peoples, but if the main idea is that I can provide you the path, you can search those things, that how we can create a simple application in Docker or in the Kubernetes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Navneet, for answering these questions. Okay, thank you so much for accepting this call once